Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. And in today's video, we are going to be breaking down and I'm going to be giving my predictions for the main card of UFC 290. I cannot wait for this. I cannot wait for all the fights that are on this card. This is one of the most stacked cards in recent times, and this is a card where we're seeing a lot of big names. We're seeing a lot of high level fighters, a lot of talent, and we're seeing a lot of good fights. But most importantly, we're going to see a lot of finishes on this card, and I just cannot wait. I hope you guys are excited as I am. But starting off the main card, we have Bo Nickel versus Val Woodbourne. Bo Nickel was originally going to take on Tresean Gore. Tresean Gore pulled out because he tore some ligaments in his wrists, so very unfortunate. I'm a fan of Tresean Gore, so very unfortunate to see this happen to him. You could have been the guy to expose Bo Nickel, but now we're not going to know. So it's very unfortunate to see something like this happen and have an awesome fight like this fall out. Just to break this down, Bo Nickel, he's one of the most accredited wrestlers of all time. Very impressive wrestler. As far as MMA, not, he hasn't shown anything too crazy in MMA. He has no great wins. In his last fight, he fought Jamie Pickett. I believe it was at UFC 285. Went out there, was struggling to take Jamie Pickett down. Goes for a takedown, doesn't get it up against the fence. And we can see that he doesn't really have the best wrestling up against the fence. But then he knees Jamie Pickett to the groin illegally. The ref doesn't see it. Or maybe the ref had money on the fight. Maybe Dana, went to him in a public restroom of an NBA Finals game and was like, hey, if something happens, don't stop the fight. Give Bo Nickel the nod. So ref doesn't stop the fight or break them up or, even acknowledge that Jamie Pickett got kneed to the groin. Jamie Pickett's taken down, smothered, and submitted by Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel was struggling to get the arm triangle. He wasn't doing the right technique, so that is a little bit worrying to see that maybe against higher level grapplers you won't be able to get those kind of submissions or takedowns, but he's good. He's a very good athlete. This guy's incredibly explosive. He's probably maybe the best athlete on the entire roster. Man, I'm losing my voice right now. Bo Nickel, not a lot bad to say about the guy. I'm not a huge fan of his, but it is what it is. The guy, he's very impressive. What he's done in his career is incredible. Val Woodbourne, not a lot known about the guy. He's just kind of a bum. I've watched him fight. I've watched his fights. He's going to get taken down. He's going to get submitted in the first round or ground and pounded. There is absolutely no chance. If I'm Val Woodbourne, a meteorite would have to strike Bo Nichols and his team for Val Woodbourne to win this fight. There's no chance he wins this. I don't see him chinning him. He has decent power. But man, I just don't see him winning this fight. I don't even see a little bit of a chance that he wins this fight. So that's for my official prediction. I have to go Bo Nickel via first round submission. I think he's going to take Val Woodbourne down, and I think he's going to smother him on the ground. I think he's going to submit him. I think it's going to be relatively easy. I just don't see a lot of hope if you're a Val Woodbourne guy. Moving up the card, we have Jalen Turner versus Dan Hooker. And this is another fight where, I think it could end in a finish, and I think it's very likely to end in a finish. I don't really see this fight going to a decision. You have number 11, Jalen Turner, taking on number 12, Dan Hooker. Dan Hooker's dyed his hair white for this fight. He's got the Oliveira look, so maybe the spirit of Charles Oliveira will be invigorated in him in this fight. But, as far as a technical standpoint, I just don't see Dan Hooker winning this fight. Ever since the Dustin Poirier war from a couple of years ago, he's just never recovered. And that clearly shows the level of toughness of guys like Dustin at the top, where Dustin can get in those wars and it doesn't affect him long term, but Dan Hooker gets in one war like that, and he's just toast. He's never looked the same since then. He's got KO'd by Michael Chandler. He got absolutely bulldozed by, I'm forgetting everyone's name now. Josh Emmett went down to 145, got absolutely bulldozed by Arnold Allen. Obviously got his arm ripped off by Islam Makhachev. That was a dangerous submission. I was literally thinking Dan Hooker's arm is going to break on live camera. Um, he has a win in 2021 over Nasrat, but that win means nothing. And then he obviously has that win over Claudio Puelles, who, in my opinion, is the biggest bum in UFC history. Claudio Puelles is just terrible. He was scooting his ass all over the canvas. It was disgusting. It was a terrible performance. And the fact that Dan Hooker didn't finish him in the first round is kind of embarrassing. I would have finished Claudio Puelles in that fight. Then you have Jalen Turner, man. Jalen Turner is just super impressive. Dude has one of the biggest and longest physiques in the entire division. Pause. Jalen Turner, man, this guy has power. He has range. He has jiu-jitsu. He does struggle in the wrestling defense. Gamrot was able to take advantage of that and take him down a couple of times in their fight. But this dude has dangerous power. He dropped Gamrot like 2 or 3 times. He's 6'3" in the lightweight division, which is just crazy when you think the average guy is 5'10". Super incredible, man. 77-inch reach in the lightweight division. And Jalen Turner, like I said, he's coming off that loss to Gamrot. He's 13-6, so not the best record, but before then he submitted Brad Riddell via guillotine. He TKO'd Jamie Malarkey, beat the brakes off of Jamie Malarkey. Submitted Uros Medic. Submitted Brock Weaver. TKO Joshua Kulibo. So his last win, other than Gamrot, is against Matt Favola all the way back in 2019. But we're getting back like 4 years in the past. So those fights don't really mean that much. And then before then, he lost to Vicente Luque, I believe. And that he got dominated by Vicente Luque. But, we're getting back all the way back in time. Those fights don't mean anything. Jalen Turner's just a phenomenal fighter. He's levels ahead of Dan Hooker, and he's a lot tougher than Dan Hooker. I think he has a huge jiu-jitsu advantage. I think he has a power advantage. I think he has a striking advantage. And Dan Hooker moves like he's in slow motion. He literally fights like he's underwater. He fights like he's in slow motion. Like when you're falling in a dream, and it's like you're trying to run away from something in a dream, and it's like you start floating, like running super, super slow. You can't run. That's how Dan Hooker fights. It's embarrassing how slow he is. He has no confidence in himself whatsoever. You can just see that, like in his fights, he's not confident in himself at all. And I think Jalen Turner's gonna take advantage of that. I think he's gonna hurt him with punches. I think that he's going to follow him to the ground, and I think he's gonna submit him. I think that Jalen Turner's gonna find the submission. So as for my official prediction, I'm gonna go Jalen Turner via first round submission. I don't think this fight's gonna be competitive at all. Moving up the card, we have another fight that's probably going to end in finish. We have Robert Whittaker, number 2 Robert Whittaker, taking on number 5 Dricus Du Plessis. The S is silent, the true African king. Wakanda forever, because Dricus Du Plessis he's making a statement at middleweight right now. A statement filled with close fights with bums and gassing out in 5 minutes. And I do think that I do think that Dricus' cardio is a little overhated. He doesn't really gas out too much in his performance. He just looks like he's very tired, but he's very sloppy. Dude blitzes him with terrible combos. The only hole in Robert's game that I can see Dricus take advantage of is Robert does not check leg kicks that well to the outside lead leg. Dricus likes to throw those leg kicks. He's also very fast with them. Like he opened up the Derek Brunson fight with a very fast leg kick. So I can see him taking advantage of those, but when I see Wash Darren Till teeing off on you with just one punch in the second round of your fight, and you're not doing much to answer him, Robert Whittaker's going to do bad things to you. The only other hole in Robert's game is his chin. It's not a skill issue. It's just, he is a bit chinny. He does get hurt a lot, and I can see maybe Dricus catches him with something. But that's highly unlikely. Dricus is going to need, the MMA. Dricus is going to need something incredible to finish Robert Whittaker. It's going to have to be by finish. He's not winning by decision. I just think that every aspect of MMA has to go to Robert Whittaker. He's better. Better striking, better takedown defense, better grappling, submission, all that stuff, ground and pound, everything. He's so much better. So as for my official prediction, I'm going Robert Whittaker via third round TKO. I think it's going to be very, very slow in the first round. People are saying first round TKO. I would understand that. Robert Whittaker is usually very slow and measured in the first round. I think he's going to pick it up in the second round, still stay very measured, doesn't want to get countered. He knows Dricus is going to try to do everything he can to find that one shot. So he's going to stay very measured, very calm. I think in that third round, he's finally going to put it on him. He's going to break Trikas and finish him via TKO. Moving up the card, we have the flyweight title fight between Brandon Moreno and his real-life boogeyman, Alexandre Pantoja, or Alexandre. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name, but Alexandre Pantoja. Man, this fight is so exciting. This fight's so interesting. You have Brandon Moreno, who's just such a technical boxer. It's so fast, good power. He's got that crazy heart, unbreakable chin. Versus Alexandre Pantoja, who literally fights like he's a Spartan warrior. He just charges towards you and lands crazy shots. He doesn't do that in all his fights. You know, like when he fought Manel Kape, he fought very technically, very sound. He outstruck Manel Kape very handily and just won off of volume. Nothing crazy, didn't go for the finish. But then you see where he fights like guys like Alex Perez or Brandon Royval. He just tries to kill them. Stark difference. And, you know, so tough. This guy was eating bombs from Davis and Figueiredo. Wasn't even fazed by them. You know, I think Brandon Moreno is the better striker. I think Brandon Moreno is the better striker. I think he's the better wrestler. And I think he's better in most positions on the ground, you know. Alexandre Pantoja, he's not crazy dangerous in most positions. If he gets Brandon Moreno's back, I think the fight's done. I think if he gets Brandon Moreno's back and he locks up a body triangle, I think the fight's over. But Brandon Moreno, man, he's so good. He scrambles so quickly. And the only avenue to victory I see is Alexandre Pantoja submitting Brandon Moreno. I don't see him cracking the chin. If Figueiredo can't crack the chin of Moreno, you know, if Kai Car fans can't crack the chin of Moreno and put him out, or just even put him down once, you know, Davis and Figueiredo was able to put him down, but man, like he wasn't even hurt that bad. He just got knocked down and then stood right back up. So it's just one of those things where no matter how good your chin is, you still go down eventually, even if you just pop right back up and you look fine. So I don't see him winning by TKO. I think the only avenue to victory for Pantoja is marching Brandon Moreno down, getting in some crazy scramble. I mean, Alexandre Pantoja thrives in violence. I think he's going to have to find some crazy submission, get some scramble, find the back, and get a crazy submission, and it would have to be incredible. But I think Brandon Moreno has the advantages almost everywhere the fight goes. He's going to be able to. I think he's going to piece at him. I think he's going to pick Alexandre Pantoja apart, stay very, very, very measured. Not a lot of kicks, just boxing. He's going to box with him, throw the jab, throw the straight a lot, and just move around. A lot of movement from Brandon Moreno. And as the rounds go on, Alexandre Pantoja is going to gas out. We saw him gas out against Askar Askarov, and Askar Askarov did very well against him without even threatening submissions, you know. I think Brandon Moreno is going to do a similar thing. I think he's going to outstrike him. He's going to outbox him. I think he's going to eventually start implementing the wrestling. He's going to start catching the body kicks, which we know when you start catching the body kicks, he starts to shut down. Askar Askarov started catching the body kicks, and Alexandre Pantoja's game started to shut down. So I think that, you know, Brandon Moreno's going to catch the kicks. He's going to out-wrestle him. He's going to outbox him. He's going to gas him out, and eventually, late in the fourth round, I think he's going to, you know, Alexandre Pantoja is going to have eaten a lot of damage. I think Brandon Moreno is going to have taken some big shots as well, or pause early in the fight. But I think that Alexandre Pantoja is going to have eaten a lot of damage. He's going to be gassed out. The scrambles aren't working. They're all sweaty. You know, can't get a hold of him. Brandon Moreno's still looking fresh. You know, Brandon Moreno has unlimited cardio, and I think that Brandon Moreno is going to find the finish in the fourth round. So that's for my official prediction. I'm going Brandon Moreno via fourth round TKO. I just think he's better almost everywhere other than off the back. You know, he's so much better. But this fight's still very interesting. It's very competitive, and those first couple rounds are going to be so interesting to watch. Moving up the card, we have the main event, the final fight of UFC 290, the highly anticipated return to featherweight of the pound-for-pound #1 fighter, Alexander Volkanovski, taking on the dangerous, crafty, the definition of violence, Yair Rodriguez. This is a fight that I cannot wait for. I could talk about this fight for ages. And I'm scared, man. I'm a huge Volk fan. I'm a huge Yair fan, and I'm very scared for Volk in this fight. You know, I think that Volk could get head kicked. You know, he could get kneed, and this is a fight that's very interesting for me. But yeah, you know, you have Alexander Volkanovski coming off of his move up to lightweight, temporary move up to lightweight, where he fought Islam Makhachev back in UFC 284, February 11th in Perth, Australia. And he impressed a lot of people with his performance, especially me. I was expecting Islam. I fed into the hype. I was like, Islam Makhachev is going to get a hold of him, and he's going to be so much stronger, and he's going to take him down submitted. No hope for Volkanovski. Volkanovski was able to grapple with Makhachev, even try to take him down at 2 or 3 moments. He was able to knock Makhachev down. He got knocked down himself. And, you know, this raised Volkanovski's stock greatly. Even though he lost his fight, his stock went up greatly in this fight. And then you have Yair Rodriguez, who is coming off of a phenomenal win over Josh Emmett. But at the end of the day, you know, it's Josh Emmett. But still, in this fight, man, he looked so good. Yair Rodriguez looked phenomenal in this fight. He was chewing up the legs, ripping to the body, some of the most vicious, deadly kicks I've ever seen, throwing elbows. There was one moment where he switched to southpaw, and he posted with his lead hand against the head of Josh Emmett. When Josh Emmett tried to blitz, he pulled his hand back and threw the elbow, a technique that you don't really see that often. But it's super effective, and it wobbled Josh Emmett badly. Then Yair Rodriguez throws a flying knee, falls down, pulls Josh Emmett into his guard, starts elbowing Josh Emmett's head off, trying to literally crack his head open like a watermelon or like a coconut. And Josh Emmett gives up his arm. Terrible submission defense, but Josh Emmett gets submitted via triangle. Yair Rodriguez showed incredible jiu-jitsu progression. He showed incredible kickboxing, and he showed incredible chin, because he literally walked into a first-round overhand from Josh Emmett, and he got his head snapped back badly. But if that's not putting you down, no one's putting you down. This guy's so tough. He's so good. He's so ferocious. He never gives up. And he's one of those guys like Brandon Moreno where he'll never accept position. He'll never, like, if you take this guy down, he's going to be moving. He's going to be looking for a new submission. He's going to be looking for a way to scramble. He's going to be looking for something, just anything that he can do to avoid getting dominated. But, you know, I look at his fight before then with Max Holloway, or 2 fights ago, against Max Holloway, where Max Holloway was able to mount him, get in the full mount position and rain down ground and pound. And I'm like, if Max Holloway's taking you down, threatening submissions, doing all this stuff, out wrestling you, I see Alexander Volkanovski doing that. But at the same time, there's a lot of holes in Volk's game that you can point out. And a lot of people will say that's not true. No, Volk has no holes in his game. You know, even though Volk, in my opinion, is the best fighter in the world, he has a lot of holes in his game. And against a guy like Yair Rodriguez, those holes will be on full display, bigger than ever before. Volkanovski does not have good head kick defense. He'll either defend head kicks with one hand, or he'll pull, or he'll leave. Suppose you throw a head kick on the left side of Volkanovski. Your left, his right. He'll keep his right hand down. He'll pull his left hand across the side of his face to defend like this, instead of defending the head kick like this, like you're supposed to. And you don't want to lean into it. You don't want to lean the head kick. You want to maybe pull away or just take the head kick like this. You don't want to lean into it, because it's going to inflict more damage. You know, instead of defending like this, he'll leave this hand down and he'll just defend with one hand. And against a guy like Yair Rodriguez, if you do that, you are going to get caught badly. Another thing is, he likes to enter the pocket with those blitzes. And against a guy like Yair Rodriguez, Yair Rodriguez is going to be able to throw knees up the middle and going to be able to throw elbows. A thing that Islam Makhachev was able to do both times. Islam Makhachev was able to pepper Volk with those knees to the body when Volk tried to enter. He did it many times. He even opened up a massive cut over Volkanovski's eye with a step-in elbow as Volkanovski tried to step in. And if anyone's going to do that even better than Islam Makhachev, it's going to be Yair Rodriguez. Yair Rodriguez also throws ferocious kicks. And what does Volk struggle with? The kicks. Now, there is a game plan to beat Yair Rodriguez, and Frankie Edgar did lay out that game plan back in like 2017, and that was like 6 or 7 years ago. But still, the game plan is there, and the same holes in Yair Rodriguez's game today that were present in that fight are still present today. And I think that what Volkanovski is going to do is going to trap the lead hand. I think that he's going to press hard. I think that he's going to just kind of outbox him a little bit and then just get up in the clinch. Once you're in the clinch with Yair, if you try to take him down, he's going to try to roll for a takedown. If you try to stay standing, he's not really going to do anything unless the clinch disengages. in the clinch, he's not that dangerous. I think that Volkanovski is going to win in the clinch. He's going to eventually start taking him down, gas him out, ground and pound him. There's always that chance for Yair Rodriguez to win this fight, but I think it's going to have to be by finish. I don't see him winning by decision. And yeah, I see Volkanovski being the better fighter, the more well-rounded fighter, and really implementing that and showing his levels in this fight. But I do not be surprised if Yair Rodriguez wins this fight. Do not be surprised even for a second. I'm not terribly confident in this fight whatsoever. I'm confident in a lot of picks today, but not the Yair Rodriguez fight. This is a very dangerous fight for Volkanovski, a very dangerous fight for Yair Rodriguez himself. But put a gun in my head, I'm going Alexander Volkanovski via unanimous decision. I think it's going to be 49-46. It's going to be very competitive, but that's just how I see this fight playing out. It's going to be very, very close, very high level, and I think Volkanovski is going to put on one of those, typical Volkanovski ground and pound fights, where he's just teeing off in it. The only way I see this fight getting a finish for Volkanovski is like the corner, Yair Rodriguez's corner throws in the towel, but I don't see that happening. Man, I'm so excited, man. I'm so excited for this fight. Cannot talk enough about it. I could see a situation where Yair Rodriguez's eyes swell shut, but like I said, once again, not terribly likely. So those are my official predictions for the main card of UFC 290. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you'll see more of my content in the future. I am so excited to talk to you guys about this fight. I'm so excited to go watch this fight tomorrow, and I hope all of you have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. If you got to the end of the video, I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. Here's a cookie. I hope you guys enjoyed yourself. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you guys later.